I call Lewis Cocky.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I support continuing the first past the post system. When our constituents arrived at their polling station on the 4th of July, they knew what to expect. If their chosen candidate received more votes than any other, then that is who would be elected as their MP. There is an elegance to this simplicity. In our democracy, it is those who win the most votes in each of our 650 constituencies win those 650 constituencies. It cannot be denied that voters would be confronted with a far more complicated system if any type of proportional representation were to be introduced. Crucially, after the election, every one of our constituents knows who to turn to when they wish to contact their Member of Parliament. For me, this is the most important feature of our democratic system. In a more proportional system, like single transferable vote, advocated by some across this House, constituencies would be represented by multiple Members of Parliament from various parties. Clearly, this would polarise our communities, and voters may only contact the MP they had voted for, and it would absolve us from ending our duty from representing all of our constituents. It would be far difficult to get to know the several politicians representing your area and to hold them to account at the next general election. Constituents struggling with complex issues may have already exhausted other options. We do not want to make them ask, which MP should I contact as well? First past the post creates a strong connection, for good or for bad, between residents and their representatives. Under our current system, I can represent my home of Broxbourne. Every one of my neighbours, whether they have an issue with their housing, pension or anything else, knows who to turn to. There is a clear link that simply would be lost under a more proportional system. A sole representative for a small constituency allows each of us in this place to remain grounded and ensures that every corner of our United Kingdom is properly represented. There is also a simplicity and stability in the result that emerges from our first past the post general elections. For the most part, first past the post produces governments with clear workable majorities that can last the full length of their term. Voters want strong governments with the ability to deliver policies in their manifesto, not the chaos of constant disagreements and repeated elections. Under proportional representation, the party that receives the most votes does not automatically nor quickly form the next government. Instead, as we are seeing now in Ireland, political parties go behind locked doors to do deals amongst themselves. Discussions lasting for months until after the general election has taken place. This is plainly undemocratic, with voters given no further say. When coalition agreement eventually comes, it satisfies no one. Under the first past the post system, each party presents their policy, Madam Deputy Speaker, at the election, and they put it forward to the British people, and that is the basis on which votes are cast at our general elections in the United Kingdom. In first past the post elections, it is clear who will be in power and who will be in opposition. As we've seen in the recent general election, it is possible for voters to change who governs them if that is, of course, the choice they wish to make. And finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, I would like to remind the House that the British people have made their opposition to this clear. In 2011, 13 million people voted to retain the first past the post system. Less people. 13 million people voted to retain the first past the post system. And at the last general election, neither of the largest two parties proposed a change in that electoral system. For those reasons, I think it would be plainly wrong to make any changes to our elections in the United Kingdom.